Now hear this. This is a non-spoiler review of Solo: A Star Wars Story. Prepare to not be spoiled. So, I wanted to go see Solo: A Star Wars Story last night, and I have to say I was, genuinely surprised and liked the film. I thought it was a very enjoyable movie, and it's worth to go see it unspoiled. After Last Jedi and some of the things I had read about the film, the controversy of the directors leaving and being swapped out, all the rewrites it went through, and the tone changes, I was very concerned for this film. I went with low expectations and an open mind, but I enjoyed it. Is Solo a perfect movie? No. This is not the Citizen Kane of Star Wars. I don't think there was as much depth to the film as there was in, say, prior films, but maybe that's a bit of a turn-off for some, but for me, I think it fits the style of the film that they were going for. As a Star Wars fan concerned with the wider universe, I don't think that they cross a line for me in terms of referencing expanded universe, aside from a few drop-ins and the new stormtroopers and vehicles. I thought it was fine. Moving on to the characters, firstly and most importantly, I think Alden Ehrenreich gets Han, and he plays him well. I won't say he was my favorite character, or that other people couldn't have pulled off a young Han, but it wasn't as bad as I'd, imagined in my mind. Also, as a character, this is a different Han from the one we saw on Tatooine. He's not as cynical, and he doesn't really know how the galaxy works yet. I think that's fine, helps us figure things out a little bit more, to introduce us to the galaxy and the setting that we're in. I think Donald Glover also nails Lando, and he's really a very enjoyable character throughout the whole film. I loved his take on Lando, and it was a, true, but fun take on it. It left room for experimentation, but yeah, he felt real. It was just really fun. Chewbacca as well. Chewie was really good. I felt like he had his moments and parts that I felt were really well done and well executed. That, there were moments that I felt were genuinely heartwarming between, Han and Chewie. On the other characters, though, it was okay. Everyone else, it was sort of like Rogue One. Not until they all die in the end, but it has this element where, I just wasn't, didn't have time to get attached to them. But I think all the actors still play their roles well. I enjoyed the characters, while they were there, but I just didn't really, yeah. And there were a few I got attached to, and a few that I was, kind of wondering about, but it kind of became clear, what was going to happen, and then the thing happened. So it is a little bit predictable, but it's sort of difficult to do because, again, this is, while it's, this anthology film, it's within a larger body of work and a well-known character. So I think it works best, if you were able to separate yourself from the original trilogy, it works, and it works really well. The stakes would be there, you wouldn't be as predictable, but with them there, it becomes pretty predictable in certain regards. The overall story, I think, is pretty good. In the theater, I was really all in and immersed in the film. I was on the edge of my seat a few times, and it doesn't take me out of the film like The Last Jedi did. There was no, equivalent of the, Leia in space scene, or Holdo withholding information, creating pointless drama. So that was good. However, in a way, Solo makes me wish that they would step away from the original characters and trying to make, I don't think we need a standalone Leia movie and a standalone, Obi-Wan movie and Boba Fett movie and stuff like a lot of people have, rumored and, have suspected. I think that they could do the same thing, but also say a lot more and do a lot more by giving us, new characters and settings and overall make better films instead of trying to cater, to us, and to our love of these original characters. I think they can do a lot better, in that regard. On the issue of fan service, I kind of felt like I was checking a laundry list of things to do, especially as I felt the movie was winding to a close. I felt like I was checking a laundry list. But, overall I felt it was okay. There were certain elements, that I felt were a bit more of a motif and were pretty decent, but it was okay. It also does, like I said, incorporate a lot of expanded universe stuff. I'd recommend seeing, I think it's even better if you've seen Clone Wars and Rebels. I think it gives you some more references. But, oh well. Another thing that's often been glossed over is the music and the sound of Solo. They nail it. The soundtrack is well done. I feel like the moments, are accentuated by the music. I hear the Imperial March play at one point, and I'm just like, yes, yes, this is what I want, from Star Wars. Really enjoyed it. It's not overbearing, but it feels right in just all the right ways. In my opinion, I give Solo a passing grade. I think I'd give it probably a B. Not a B minus, not a B plus. I'd give it a B. Maybe a B plus. But I enjoyed the film. I think it's well executed. I think it has very impressive, and good moments. Both from a storytelling and narrative perspective, as well as from special effects and visuals perspective. But I have my nitpicks with it. I think it's got its issues. And I think that's going to be the issue. I don't know if all the anthology films are going to be this way, where, you have, like, your one character and you're supposed to get attached to them, or in this case, your few characters, but, like, everyone else kind of gets thrown to the side. I hope that's not the case, but it sort of seems, problematic, with these films. So, yeah, that's what I'd say. In summary, Solo is a very enjoyable movie. It's a very fun movie. I think it is a good movie. I don't think that it's, I don't think it's the best Star Wars movie. I don't think that, I don't think it's not without its flaws. But it's a good movie, and I'd recommend going in unspoiled. I'm curious to see your guys' perspective. I don't want to start a flame war, in the comments. But, I will say I enjoy this movie on the first viewing. I want to make that clear. This is, on the first viewing. This is not me, after seeing it, a number of times. That, my opinion, could very well change. But I did enjoy this film when it first came out. And I'll say that. Anyways, guys, if you like the video, or even if you disagree with me, tell me why in the comments. Yeah. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. It helps me grow the channel and reach more people. So yeah, this is RC0538 signing off. Have a good one. Go see Solo.